What's up, investors? It's the Russian dude. Let's begin by looking at the current situation, because reports indicate that Ukrainian forces have taken anywhere between 400 and 1,000 square kilometers of Russian territory. This isn't just a tactical win, it's a symbolic one as well. The mere fact that Ukraine has managed to occupy any part of Russian soil sends a powerful message about the shifting dynamics of this conflict. What's particularly striking is the speed with which this land was captured. In just a few days, Ukrainian forces have managed to secure a bigger portion of the Kursk region than Russia did in their so-called entire offensive throughout 2024. On the other hand, the Russian military now faces the daunting task of reclaiming this territory, a process that could take much longer and require far more resources. Despite the advanced technology used in this conflict, such as drones, precision-guided missiles, electronic warfare, a simple shovel remains an indispensable tool for soldiers on the ground. This isn't just a new concept. In fact, the importance of digging in has been recognized for decades. Back in the Soviet era, Marshal Voroshilov emphasized that when a soldier can no longer advance, they must dig in and fortify their existing positions. This principle is being put into practice right now. Ukrainian soldiers, unable to push further into the Russian territory, are digging in and fortifying their positions. It starts with simple foxholes which can then be expanded to complex trench systems, and then these trenches, reinforced with wood, steel and other materials, can even withstand heavy artillery barrages and provide a crucial protection for both infantry and vehicles. The strategy of digging in isn't just about survival, it's about creating a sustainable defense that can hold out against even the most determined attacks. During World War II, the Battle of Kursk, the largest tank battle in history, was fought in this very region. The lessons learned from that battle are still relevant today. In modern warfare, these fortified positions can be the difference between holding a key piece of territory and being forced to retreat. The Ukrainian forces are likely drawing on these historical lessons as they fortify their positions in the Kursk region. By creating a network of trenches and dugouts, they're making it extremely difficult for Russian forces to push them out. This kind of preparation isn't just about physical defenses, it's also about psychological warfare, because the longer these positions are held, the more demoralized the attacking forces become. Let's talk about the strategic importance of the Kursk region. Sudzha, a key strong point in this area, is under control of Ukrainians. The ongoing conflict in Donbass has shown us that just how difficult it is for an attacking force to capture even a small town, even at a tremendous cost. If Ukraine's operation in Kursk was well planned, and all indications suggest that it was, then they're not just engaging in raids. They are digging in and preparing for the long haul. For Ukraine, this is not just about holding onto a patch of land, it's about gaining a strategic advantage that could pay off in future negotiations. Even if those negotiations are a long way off, controlling a portion of Russia's internationally recognized territory could give Ukraine a significant bargaining chip. In the grand scheme of things, a few hundred square kilometers of Russian land could be more valuable than some of the provinces annexed by Russia. Now, let's consider the broader implications of this occupation. In just a few days, Ukrainian forces have captured as much territory as the Russian army has managed to secure in the entire past year. This rapid advance suggests that Ukraine is not only capable of offensive operations, but also of holding and fortifying the territory it captures. This is a critical distinction. Capturing land is one thing, holding it against counterattacks is another. If the Ukrainian army can avoid significant mistakes, if they can hold these positions and continue to fortify them, the Russian army could be in for a long and costly struggle. Reclaiming this territory won't just require manpower, it will require time, resources, and a significant shift in strategy. For the Russian military, this situation presents a major dilemma. Reclaiming the state border is going to be an uphill battle. In order to succeed, they'll need to outnumber Ukrainian forces significantly. Military doctrine suggests that attackers need a numerical advantage, typically 3 to 1 or even higher, in order to overcome the entrenched defenders. In this case, a ratio of 7 to 1 or even 8 to 1 might be ideal, but achieving these numbers won't be that easy. There are two primary ways for Russia to amass the forces required for a successful counteroffensive, either by launching a new recruitment campaign or by transferring troops from other theaters of the war. Both options come with significant challenges. A large-scale recruitment campaign could lead to a widespread dissatisfaction among the Russian population. With the war dragging on and casualties mounting, the appetite for more conscription is likely waning. On the other hand, transferring troops from other areas would weaken Russia's positions in those regions, potentially opening up new vulnerabilities. Meanwhile, Ukrainian forces are not sitting and doing nothing. They are digging in, fortifying their positions, and preparing for whatever comes next. The longer they hold this territory, the stronger their defenses will become, making it even harder for Russian forces to reclaim the land. Ironically, while Ukraine is fortifying its positions on Russian territory, the Russian army continues to make incremental small advances in the areas like Toretsk and Pokrovsk. However, these gains may be of a little strategic value, especially if they come at the cost of losing even more territory within Russia itself. From a political perspective, this situation puts the Russian leadership into a much more difficult position. How do you justify continued offensive in Ukraine when Ukrainian forces are occupying already Russian territory? This is a question that the Russian top brass and political leadership will need to answer, and their response will likely shape the next phase of the conflict. Putin now faces several unappealing options. One possibly is to refocus efforts on retaking the Kursk region, but this could lead to a stalemate, draining resources and manpower without achieving a decisive victory. Alternatively, Putin could choose to ignore the loss of Russian territory and continue the slow, grinding offensive elsewhere. This option seems more in line with his decision-making over the past 2.5 years, so it will be curious to see what he chooses. There is also the more radical option of mobilizing hundreds of thousands of additional troops, but this could risk destabilizing Russia politically. Even if the government manages to overcome the logistical challenges of such a large-scale mobilization, the political fallout could be severe. Let's not forget the human cost of this conflict. As Ukrainian forces advance into Russian territory, there has been a significant displacement of civilians. Estimates suggest that there could be as many as 200,000 refugees. This situation is a reminder of the crisis Russia faced in the 1990s when Chechnya sought independence. Back then, the Russian government managed to resettle the refugees, but today things are different. Many of these displaced individuals are being relocated to areas like Berdyansk, a city under Russian control in Ukraine. This has led to a troubling scenario where Russian civilians are being used as civilian occupiers, living in properties abandoned by Ukrainians. This cynical strategy aims to solidify Russian control over these occupied territories by populating them with the Russian citizens. It's a move that is as desperate as it is calculated, and it speaks volumes about the lengths to which the Russian government is willing to go to maintain its grip on those regions. As we reflect on the bigger picture, it is clear that this conflict has brought chaos to regions that were once considered peaceful and stable. The Kursk region, known for its rich cultural history and natural beauty, is now a war zone. This is a place that has long been associated with peace and prosperity, not conflict and destruction. The fact that this region has now become a focal point in the war is a stark reminder of the unpredictable nature of this conflict. It's a testament on how quickly the tides of war can change and how even the most unlikely places can become battlegrounds. In conclusion, the Ukrainian occupation of Russian territory is a significant development with far-reaching implications. It challenges the status quo and forces both sides to rethink their strategies. For Ukraine, this occupation could serve as a valuable bargaining chip in future negotiations, and for Russia, it presents a major challenge that could alter the course of the conflict. As always, we'll continue to monitor the situation closely and keep you guys updated on any new developments. This conflict is far from over and the stakes continue to rise with each passing day. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you found this information interesting, informative, or both. If you wish to support my work, there are links down below such as PayPal donations and Patreon subscriptions. Thank you so much for your attention and see you tomorrow.
We won't succumb to their tricks, the facade they try to sell. Their twisted words and feeble claims on us all they cannot quell. We see through their lies, their feeble attempts to sway.